Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Pat from Like Attracts Like Evolution, and I work with people on their transformational journey through a process called self-realization. So today I want to talk to you about a few things that can help keep you on track during your ascension process, during your awakening journey, and really just even more practically in life itself. Stick around, we're diving in deep when we come back. So the first part of this process that I believe can help you stay in a higher state of consciousness, a higher place inside of your self-realization journey, and really allow you access to a greater shift in your reality is taking full responsibility for your journey, for your beliefs, for your truths, for your past, for your actions, for absolutely everything. You see, what happens is from lower levels of consciousness or in our unconscious state, there is a thing that we can do as humans where we aren't ready yet to dive into our experience of what we believe to be true. We aren't yet ready to kind of go into the muck of our story and the parts of us that we have abandoned or pushed away or pushed down into the shadows. So what we do is we block those parts of us, and then anything that's being created from that energy is kind of pushed away, and we are blaming other people for where we are. We're blaming this experience. We are constantly pointing the finger outside of ourselves. And what this does is, because we are scared of the parts of us that we are pushing down, because we are scared of those truths being true, and what would happen if the world knew those things were true about us, we are kind of in a denial state. And the more you point your finger outside, then the less power you are allowing inside. So the full realization of self comes when we allow ourselves to accept and allow all parts of us to be okay, to be that which you are, no longer running from, no longer hiding from. So if there's any part of you that is still maybe pointing the finger outside of you at a certain experience or a certain relationship or a certain happening or not happening, being the thing that allows you to dictate who you are and why you are there, try to do your best to acknowledge that the fullness of your power and potential within you will be realized the moment you are realizing that you are more powerful than the story that you've been telling. You're more powerful than any part of you that you feared being true. And your power comes when you go within to access that. And that happens when you stop pointing the finger outside of yourself. The second part I want to touch on when it comes to accessing the highest, most free, expansive part of your conscious experience is making sure that we are focusing more on the positive aspects of what we are wanting rather than the negative or the not having aspects of what we are wanting. See, we've been conditioned from very, very, very young ages to focus more of our attention on what is scary, where the fear exists, where the not having exists inside of our reality. And I would imagine as you go back in our evolution that this was in part to keep us safe. If we are focusing our attention on what could be harmful or what could be hurtful or the idea that there isn't enough of something that we need, then this, from that point of view and that level of our conscious awareness, would inspire us and drive us to go out and try to find those things. It would inspire us to keep us safe and make sure that we are focusing our attention on the things that could harm us, so that way we are protecting ourselves and our families from all of the threats that exist. And because of this, and because of how much momentum this has built inside of human beings in general since we have been conscious, but also just inside of your regular narrative, inside of your family, with the people who are guiding you, friends, relationships, we are kind of pre-programmed to focus on things that are not working out for us. And what is required to shift this game or to shift your life is a conscious intention to move beyond the story of that lack, the story of that limitation, and the story of that fear. Not because those things don't exist necessarily as a result of that momentum in your life, but because in order to actually move beyond that level of that story, there needs to be a certain aspect or connection to faith inside of you, that you are not separate from life, so therefore it is so scary and attacking you, but that you are one with life, and that it is only a story of you being separate from and scared by life that continues you in the loops of fear that you have been perpetuating. So really, there is accessing that certain level of truth inside of you that only comes when you take full responsibility for your journey. This will allow you to move beyond the limiting story that keeps you trapped in that fear loop. So really, not only taking responsibility, but then going and diving inside of you to make sure that you're allowing yourself to focus more heavily on the positive aspects of what are working out for you, rather than your preconditioned mind, which is designed to focus on things not working out for you to keep you safe. And the third and final point that I would love to share with you about how to keep yourself in the highest vibrational resonance with the truth of who you are so that you can access all that you are actually saying you are wanting is to do your best to take action when you feel inspired in your actual life. Sometimes we have a tendency to just live inside of our mind, and even if it is a more positive place because you have overcome the negative conditioning of your past, there still will come a point where that focus and attention on what you are wanting, the experience of all that you are wishing you could walk through and all of the things that you want to come to you and experience in your life, there's a part of us that we just kind of want to live in our mind and hope that it shows up. Live in our mind and hope that it happens to us. And while there is some evidence that those things can be applied to your life from just levels of positive thinking, what I found to be true for myself is it isn't until you are met with something in your actual life that represents something that would have terrified the older version of you that you are trying to transcend. It isn't until you meet up with that in your actual physical life and make a new choice. It might feel really, really difficult. It might feel so challenging. It might literally feel like death, like you're going to die on the other side of this choice. And all I want to share with you is that on the other side of that choice, doing the thing that scares you in the real world, doing the thing that the highest version of you would do in emotional continuity with whatever your truth now is, making that choice in the world is the freedom that you have been looking for. It's not a thing, it's not a person, it's not even an experience. It is just simply an acknowledgement from you to you that you are now the person who can make the choices that the old person that you're trying to change would not have made. And it is in that inner knowing and in that freedom within you that is something that no one else can take away. So this process of removing responsibility from anyone else, being able to have a say or having influence over your journey and the path that you take, doing your best from that point of pure power within, with no excuses or blame, being able to shift your attention and your mindset to focus on the positive things that are happening in your life, that you are wanting to happen in your life, doing your best to shift those perspectives and create new momentum from a positive place, and letting the old momentum of your limiting story die out. And then when you do that enough and create enough momentum in your mind that it actually creates and manifests an experience for you that may appear like the opposite of what you've been asking for, it's so you can realize for yourself the truth of who you are by making that choice that the old version of you that set this all in motion wouldn't make. You show up and make that choice, and I would love to say that I promise you that your reality will shift as a result. And that is what I wish for each and every single one of you. It is with that I leave you. As always, have an amazing day, a wonderful night, and I will see you inside of the next video. Peace.